What's cracking, my dudes and dudettes? Today I'm gonna show you my build that I've been working on Spiritborn. This is the Son of Wukong. We are using Rake, the main core ability from Jaguar skill. Absolutely my favorite. I mean, look at the style of this build. It looks so amazing. So we're using Hunter as the ultimate skill to, gap close and overall to proc max stacks of ferocity, which, I mean, to be fair, doesn't really need it because Rake itself does give you 1 stack of ferocity with each hit. We are capping out at about 160% attack speed, and that's the main goal for this build, to stack as much attack speed as possible to trigger the main Jaguar Spirit Hole, because every 15 hits, it will basically do a big hit. So you can see the many billions, 83.7 billion right there, the white text. That's the main whole Jaguar. That's why it's so crazy. And outside of that, you can see we're doing many billions as well with O powers. And with this build, you need 275 vigor minimum. And you need with that the Midnight Sun ring that gives you vigor on as a refund by 50% within like 2 seconds when you crit strikes. So you need to have 100% resource generation to get 100% vigor, basically with each hit. So thanks to Kepaleke, we spent all the vigor, and because of the regeneration, we are getting it all in one hit as well, thanks to the ring. So we gain and we spend in one hit. That guarantees every hit we basically do overpower. So that's why you see a lot of the orange text as well. Now this is pit 100, basically the highest difficulty, but this build runs it in about 3 minutes. This is mainly for leveling build for Paragon, so speed farming build. And there's also a couple others. I'm gonna work on Crushing Hand after this, but I might stick with this one maybe because I'm a big fan of this one. The only problem is if you use Vortex, it pulls mobs, pixel to pixel to you, and that results in the mobs not being, touchable at all. There is no hitbox at all for these enemies. So sometimes when you pull them together, you're gonna move a little bit to the side or use Hunter to the side to jump, to leap back or whatever, and then you'll be able to hit them. So that's the only thing what I don't really like about the ability, the Vortex. So I tried to drop that. I tried Concussive Stomp, not really that great either. You could probably just drop Vortex, get Soar instead to be even faster in the dungeon, because other great rune for this setup would be the Ja rune with teleport, Sork's teleport. We could drop the Max Life rune and go with that instead for the speedruns. I could have tested as well, probably, but I just like the the max life because it scales very well with O powers. That's our main damage, so I just stick with it. So that's whatever. And this layout in the pit is absolutely the worst. I hate this pit. I hate this layout so much. It's horrible because yeah, it's very spacious and there are no enemies. Sometimes we're now like headless chicken with nothing. But you also need, for this build, to get the full vigor, you also need active Ravager. That's the main thing as well, which is no problem because if you kill mobs, it's gonna extend the duration of that. So we're about to enter the boss room. Now, once you get bosses below 35% HP, you will trigger the injury damage increase from Hunter 100%, and you just basically delete him, no problem. 144 billion right there, the white text, so not too bad. But I'll take you to the planner. So the first things we got are the skills. So number 1, Ravager gives you damage. Basically, it's a buff like Aura on yourself, gives you damage. And also Vigor Generation with the skill tree passive. Rake, our main ability. There are 2 upgrades for this attack. I'll talk about it in a bit. Vortex to pull mobs together. Armored Hide to give you max resolve stacks, and also to give you Unstoppable right away. And you get Hunter, the ultimate, for gap close, or as you see fit. You can jump from one corner to another, and Scourge to trigger, to get big damage multiplier of 50% and to trigger CC on the targets. This makes enemies run away, so it's always good to like use Scorch and then Vortex, or vice versa, because when you use Vortex with Barrier active, you have non-stop Barrier, you will knock them down on the ground, so you can just, Vortex into Scorch and they will not run away. Primary Spirit is Jaguar. This is the every 15 time you deal direct damage to an enemy with Jaguar skill, it unleashes additional strike, dealing 15% of the damage you have dealt to them in the past half a second. That's why we're trying to stack up attack speed as much as possible to dish out as many attacks as possible within that half second. And that's why you see the big damage numbers with the many billions. So yeah. Second Spirit Hole, we go with Gorilla. This is for max resolve stacks, but also to keep non-stop unstoppable. You could also go for the second Jaguar here with the max ferocity stack, because 1 stack of ferocity will give you extra crit damage thanks to Furnace passive in the skill tree, which is amazing passive. So yeah, this is what I describe how this build works. 275 vigor minimum. The more you get, the better. Max resource skills with this weapon. The more you get, the more damage you will do. And also, Midnight Sun is the ring that refunds the vigor by up to 50%. So with this one, you do want 100% result generation. That's why I slapped on Yen's blessings. Now, all the masterworks and the Paragon, as a disclaimer, adjusted to your build, to your items and all that. This is just my setup right now. So go with whatever you need for that specific setup you have going on. With this one, you know, we will have guaranteed spending all vigor thanks to the staff right here, but also triggering the overpower, because if you spend 275 resource, you will overpower guaranteed. And we don't need to stick great chance because this staff does it all. You get max size skill, that's why we can clean the whole screen with Rake. You get guaranteed critical strike, and you get even crit damage for each point of vigor spent this way. So it's, I mean, I don't know, man, this staff is so good. Makes it for a very fun build though. So, skill tree. First 2 points, don't care, Rake. This will give you first with each hit, and you will have 2 upgrades here. One is for cooldown reduction. Very good. If you need that, go with it. But thanks to our key passive, we don't really need cooldown reduction at this point. This is also endgame build. Now, Rampant Rake, I like this one. I'm not sure, like, usually cost reduction scales as damage with Kepaleke, but I'm not sure. I have a feeling this does the same. I'm just not 100% sure, but you can just run cooldown reduction. Extra damage increase, follow through. This is a more damage increase, but costing more vigor doesn't really matter for us, right? Because we spend it all anyway. If you struggle with generation, you can put 2 points in vigorous, and that way you can reach the 100% easier. And that's why we want to run the Shroud of False Death, because this one gives +1 to all passives. It is insane and ridiculous. Now, Vortex to group up together, and here we knock them down with Barrier active, which we have non-stop. Some more damage increase to vulnerable enemies. Sorry, increase vulnerable damage, and we have the non-stop. We have the affix on the ring to make enemies vulnerable. Unrestrained, that's why we have a non-stop unstoppable for this passive. Ravager gives you duration extend right here, and it gives you the generation by 30%, which is very good. And you also dash to targets, which is insane for mobility. Armortide to give passively resolve, but also to get block chance is very good too, because with block chance you will get damage reduction, which pairs well with this bad boy right here. And we also get some, well, again, damage reduction for each close enemy. Counterattack, we do not have this on the bar, but that's mainly for this passive right here. Midnight Sun procs this passive. You don't even need to have it on the bar. It's intended to work that way. Perfect. Scourge to proc the CC, and this is the big multiplier, 50%. But this one also replenishes your vigor up to 60% or by 60% or 6 seconds. So very important to use this on cooldown. Dominant, damage increase to knock down enemies, that's why we get Vortex. And HP increase, we scale overpower with max life, it scales the best. That's why we put Resilient on the gear as the temper as well on the pants, so we're gonna stack this as well. My 2 favorite passives, Potent, enemies will take damage increase from you by a lot, by up to 30%. Even more if you get Shard of Death, you know, 40%. Furnace, great damage for per stack of Ferocity, so getting max stacks of Ferocity is amazing. And then we get Supremacy and Resolution. These are damage increase after you use Ultimate. Spiritual Attunement, more vigor, max vigor means more damage. Now Hunter here gives you the 100% damage increase to injured for 8 seconds. Insane for bosses. And overall, like, this is like almost like Execute, right? Gives you max refill of Ferocity, and here you have a 40% chance of reduce or removing the cooldown on the resetting cooldown on the skill itself. Insane. And then we get Prodigy's Tempo. This will give us skill ranks, which scalable with damage, and it gives us cooldown reduction, which is insane too. So skill tree now over the Paragon board. Let's see what we got, what we're working with. So the first one, first board is great for dexterity. So I put Spirit. This is the crit damage increase, and mobs will get increased crit damage from me by up to 15%. Damage to elites is a multiplier, a very good one. Might not seem like much, but it's very, very powerful. Second board we got is the Viscous Shield. For this, we are stacking Barrier Generation. This is a damage increase. It's absolutely crazy. And some extra damage reductions. I put this board here early on, so our the requirement here for this node isn't as high. It's very easy to reach dexterity. My build reaches about 1670 with the incense. Now you will see me put random dexterity points in boards that don't need dexterity, like this one, Exploit. And that is because I needed to hit enough dexterity for a rare node right here. This is 1670 dexterity, I believe, in the game, not 1800. So that's why I put random dexterity nodes. But so once again, just like with the tempers and masterworks, this is all up to your liking and up to your build, whatever you're rocking with. So we put exploit in here. Next board, you want to go for this one for the requirement here for the 2.5% attack speed. Not a, not a deal breaker, but attack speed once again stacks well with the damage for Jaguar main hall. Here we go with the revealing. This will knock down enemies with lucky hit chance if they're vulnerable. And this is the reason why I use attack speed potion, because it gives you attack speed and it gives you lucky hit chance because Rake is not that high with the lucky hit. Here we go with another crit damage dexterity. This is in-game 105 dexterity node, Paragon, not 100. So multiplier crit damage gives you vigor on crit strike. Now this scales with resource generation, so you will get more than 3 vigor. Amazing stuff, similar to Barb. On the left side, as the fourth board, we are going with a drive. This is a speedrun build for leveling Paragon in the pit. We move a lot, so drive will be active non-stop, right? And you want to focus on as many max life nodes as possible. The glyph we pick here is Colossal. This is not really for gorilla skills, but this is mainly for the damage increase per resolve stack. This is very good damage increase. I have 10 stacks, I believe, with the second gorilla spirit hole. So yeah, that's 20%. I believe this double dips. This is like even more than that. But yeah, 20% from one glyph is crazy. You could go with Kenny. I believe Kenny increases your non-physical damage increase. Non-physical damage. I believe I use that as well. Also very good. It depends. Great board for crit damage here and vulnerable. Now the last board here, we go with the sapping. If you're very low on Paragon, I recommend this board as the first one, because this board will restore 15% vigor, as you can see, and give you 30% damage increase. So go with this one as the first. So you would start, from the bottom here with the starter board, and you will just continue here on the next one. The glyph here we go with is Hubris, mainly because the bonus to magic nodes. This is the highest glyph that gives you the bonus to magic nodes. And this is mainly for the max resource, because max resource with Kapalaka is damage increase. And if you're struggling with resource, you can take these 2 points with resource generation. Again, up to your liking, up to your setup right now. And this board is probably the best because it has attack speed, it has maximum life resistances, resource generation, and max resource. It's overall the best. On the gear, Harlequin Crest, you want to get max life because this is again scaling with O powers. You can go with max resource as well, up to you. Ranks to skills, amazing stuff. False Death, the most OP item in the game, +1 to all passes. That right there itself is absolutely busted. You want to masterwork max life similar to Harlequin Crest and get GA if possible. It gives you also resource generation. If you have GA on that one, no problem. On the gloves, we want to go with Duelist. This will give Frosty stacks. Frosty stacks is attack speed, 5% for one stack, and it's in second cap of attack speed, which means this goes beyond the passive attack speed like we have on the gloves right here. It's 2 caps for attack speed. So ranks to Rake GA, masterwork that one. On my build, on the gear, on the video, I did not have this good masterworks. My masterworks are all over the place, so this can be even stronger. Next up, we got Pants Interdiction. If you land the max roll 15% block chance on this aspect combined with Redirected Force, your damage will be so goddamn high, because this crit damage scaling from block chance scales from infinite block chance. Your block chance can go beyond 100%, it is not capped, and the more block chance you get, even beyond 100%, the more crit damage, the more damage you will do. I'm capping out at 11 or 12,000 crit damage. 12,000% critical damage in the big group of mobs. It's insane. Mine is not max aspect. I have 58% out of 70. Same with this one. I'm at 10% out of 15. Ranks to basic skill. Try to get it to GA if possible. Masterwork Resilience. This gives you max HP from the skill tree as I showed. You can go with max life as well. Jens Blessings. I picked these for the resource generation to reach 100%. And it's very easy to get resistances thanks to these boots. Kapalaka, you want to go with chance for core skills. They fixed it. In the last patch, it finally works with other skills. So you go with max resource as well, really up to you. I also put up here what you can get instead of Harlequin until you get it. and where these uniques drop, so you can have easy time getting those. On the Amulet, Banish Lord, max life percentage, Masterwork this bad boy, or core skills up to you. Midnight Sun, I like Dexterity just to hit the Paragon node, so because of this, if you can get Dexterity, GA, triple proc, I could drop Dexterity on the ring, so I could get vulnerable enemies, ethics, and I could actually have the ethics ranks to Rake, actually. Because before I had Dexterity on the ring here and vulnerable on the gloves, so I did not have ranks to Rake, but this is such a great damage increase, it's crazy. On this one we go Redirected Force, once again crit damage, scaling from block, crazy stuff. Resource cost reduction, this translates to damage with Kapaleka, but you can totally go with resource generation if you don't have 100%. Overpower as the second temper goes for gloves as well. On the runes, we want to go with Xol and Xel. This one will evoke power from another class and we will get max life increase. Once again, this translates as damage for overpower. The evoke power from other class is the barrier from Druid here. Only 300 offering full 100% barrier. We have this up non-stop because we trigger it by spending resource and we spend it non-stop, right? So this is insane. So every 3 casts, I believe, of Rake, you will proc this. And it's, you know, with the attacks we have, nothing. It's nothing. Onto gems, armor, barrier generation, goes well with viscous shield. On the jewelry, really up to you, depends on your stats, on your armor and resistances, I mean. That's free to change. And the strengths, weaknesses, you know, AoE, single target, through the roof, sustain, mobility, through the roof. Mainly the style, this amazing with this build. I mean, Sun Wukong, come on, man. Weaknesses, 0. Literally, absolutely 0. Now the rotation, you want to start with Ravager, Armored Hide. These are 2 buffs. One is for damage increase and the Vigor gain or resource generation. Armored Hide to give you max resolve stacks to trigger Colossal Glyph and also be unstoppable. Next up, Vortex to group mobs together, and then Scorch to trigger the damage multiplier. Hunter, the ultimate, you use it as you need for mobility or, you know, whatever, to trigger the passives from skill tree. On bosses, use it on cooldown because the buffs from the ultimate are only 3 seconds. And Rake, I forgot to adjust this, but this is our main damage ability and gives us first stack. So yeah, this was the main chunker. For consumables, I put them right up top in here. You want to use the potion for attack speed. It gives you also lucky hit that triggers the Paragon board, knocking down on vulnerable targets, and also goes well with the affix on the ring here. Max life, you can use that as well for more overpower damage, or max resource cost reduction scales as damage with Kapaleka. And the incense, you want to use dexterity for Paragon nodes, just like the type 3 Chores of War. This is also all stats. Type 2, you can lose max life. I'm gonna add here, you can use also all stats, which will help you with Paragon if you need that. And I believe we covered everything. That's a nice solid 80 minutes right here. I could go on forever. By the way, this build just, you know, almost one-shots the bosses in a full group, so no problem. I mean, if you can run Pit 100 in 3 minutes, that's nothing, right? But anyways, gamers and gamerettes, thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comment section. I also stream every day on Twitch and YouTube. The link will be in the pinned comment. And until next time, have a great one. I also have Crushing Hands incoming, I believe. And I'll see you soon. Until next time, have a good one. Peace.